This is a war story submitted by Dudki, Mission 1 Taurus. So we did play for last Maporino, a submission by Dudki that was sort of a sandboxy map that you could explore with. This is the actual first mission of the campaign. So also let me read. I guess I might have to scroll up to find it. No, okay. Dudki in the chat says, disclaimer, this is a very story-focused map. So there are a lot of cinematics, but I hope you enjoy what I'm presenting here. Right. So again, I am not without understanding the context of a lot of these. Many of these are standalone maps. Many of these are arcadey maps, use map settings, custom maps. Many of them are parts of campaigns. A mission one of a campaign, I would expect to have some exposition. If it has a lot of exposition, and that's just what you're going for, that's fine. Again, as long as we're understanding the context here. So we can skip cinematics. For microsegments, you may have access to hero units. They're more powerful than regular units and should be leading the charge to avoid unwanted casualties. Oh my god. Adventurer. Recommended if it's your first time playing the campaign and don't have much experience in StarCraft 2. Hero cooldowns increased, starting resources reduced. I mean, look, I'm going to be honest, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but Dudki's difficulty is hugely scaled up. So, honestly, I am leaning towards Adventurer, if only because, yes, I do have experience in StarCraft 2, but in the past, Dudki's hard is what I would consider, brutal. At least that's what it was on Annihilation. So that's why, everything is sort of one step higher than you're probably expecting. Make a Jaborino diff. Yeah, that's right, Corin. Yeah, make it so I can just A-move through everything. All right, let's go Veteran. The fade in and out of the logo. I know where you got that from, Dudki. Planet Taurus, June 16th, 2531. 25 years after Amon's fall, far away from the Caprulu sector. Actually, wait, hang on. Oh, no, I would skip the cinematics. I was going to pause and move my face cam to the bottom right so it doesn't interfere with the dialogue. Special thanks to Blizzard Entertainment, SC2 Mapster, and the testers. Especially the testers, might I just add. Special thanks to Dead Guy. Sometimes I just can't help but wonder if any of this is even worth it. Yeah, you know what? I will do this. It's because I have to tab out. Again, just because... But when we start playing, I've got to move it back. Hopefully I remember to do that. Or are we just covering up the command card? Conflict. It's all around us. And it changed us. It's changed our behavior, the way we view each other. It's simply become routine for us. War has become the foundation of our everyday lives. It's how we function. It makes us who we are. The galaxy just hasn't been the same since Amon's fall back on Caprulu. Ruined cities, planets demolished, casualties in the billions. Bigger destruction than I've ever heard of. Especially in the karaoke clubs. And now with the lack of resources to go around, the sector has quite frankly become a shithole ever since Amon was put down. All of this resulted in a mass exodus where millions upon millions evacuated, either to find complete peace and isolation from the chaos, or find a way to assist in the crisis. Now, it's like we're back to square one. The peace here didn't last long. This sector has become nothing more than a game of catch. Factions endlessly vie for control in order to fulfill their needs, and it results only in bloodbaths, and more enemies than you can count. Kind of makes you wonder if peace truly exists. It may all just be an illusion, a vague image depicting the ideal and perfect life for the individual. I've heard many interpretations of what peace really is. Can't say I've seen anything close to that yet. There's just always something to fight for, always a reason to engage upon one another in never-ending combat. Scarcity. Scarcity of resources. It's the human condition. And where do I stand in all this? I'm just a man trying to do what he can to survive. Also, I wear a cape. Forced to do mercenary jobs to make a living for myself and my peers. It's by no means an easy life, but what the hell? It's the best option we've got. We've been brought into this seemingly endless conflict as well. Not like I asked for it, or want to know for that matter, but there's simply no alternative. Our people have lived their lives trying to define this so-called peace. We always end up disappointed. No matter where we go, it's always the same. Funny to think we believed we found what we were looking for upon settling here, only to get screwed over again. The Ravagers, and their brutal and unrelenting assaults on allied worlds. They become a true plague, spreading with seemingly no way to stop them. Several worlds across the sector have requested our aid, and we barely have time to read through all the reports coming in. And now with the recent arrival of the Forged Hand, heck, I just feel like the problems are only getting bigger and bigger. Heck. A group of Terrans who arrived here after Amon's fall, otherwise known as the New Dominion. Nuts so big they believe they can handle anything you throw at them. Because of them, we spent our entire lives on the run. Now it's about time we turn things around. I'll certainly not be running anymore. Can you believe the Forged Hand has arrived on Taurus too? These guys have been showing up everywhere lately. I know, right? As if dealing with the Ravagers wasn't enough. Now we have these guys stepping up to the plate as well. We can handle them. Reports indicate they've only just started establishing their base of operations. If we strike now, they won't stand a chance. I want you guys to remember that our objective is to not eliminate the Forged Hand first chance we get. Absolute first priority is getting rid of the Ravagers. Only when the time is right will we handle the Forged Hand. Maybe if we're lucky, we can get them to leave without much trouble. But I kinda doubt that. Got that right. Those guys are not known to take no for an answer. If you ask me, it's not going to be easy. True. That's exactly why I'm not expecting much, but those are the orders. In any case, we'll discuss things further once we meet up with the Colonel. I'd assume he'd have a suggestion or two. For now, I just want to remind you guys about the goals here. The Forged Hand has what is possibly the largest military in this sector. No way you can get rid of them with a simple snap of our fingers. We have to approach this problem carefully. Calculating ETA for the rendezvous point into 10 minutes. Pack your things and get ready. Got him. It's quicksand. Emerging conflicts. Alright, listen up, everyone. Spread up into teams to secure as much ground as possible. The Ravagers' numbers are low, but may quickly grow. To prevent that from happening, our best bet is to attack them from all possible flanks. Delta team travels with me. Move out. And would you look at that? Looks like the Colonel's found his way here after all. Good to see your crew made it, Sergeant Rourke. Perfect timing, Colonel. Was thinking you'd be running late. Huh, not me. We did have to get rid of a couple loose cannons on the way, but we still managed to make it just in time. Loose cannons? You mean the Ravagers? Indeed, Sergeant. Although low in numbers, seen attacking a small outpost about 2 clicks from here. Luckily, the colonists have already been evacuated. We stationed a few of our units there for further security. Great. The faster we can get Taurus secured from the Ravagers, the better. Have all mission preparations been completed? Indeed. I suppose I should fill you in on what the situation is. Reports indicate about 70% of the Ravagers nest below the surface. Only way to get down there is through a local mine system. How they've done it, it's unknown. Now the Forged Hand. They set up a base 3 clicks to the south. They're slowly expanding control of the surrounding areas. Do they pose any threat to us at all? Not as far as we know. On the contrary, they're actively guiding our people away from where the Ravagers are. Seems they intend to help. That's reassuring, at least. But no matter their intentions, them being here is going to be a problem for us. I take it our primary focus is on the Ravagers, but we may need to address the Forged Hand before that. Their base is a good walking distance from here. Me and my team will head over there and convince them to leave. Then we can venture into the mines. Worth a shot, for sure. Sigs? Sergeant Rourke, sir. I like how that guy's arm cannons are as big as he is. We're heading out. You about ready? Yes, sir. Was just helping with unloading the remaining supplies. I'm ready to move at your command. Good. I expect your full attention. You aren't my first officer for no reason, you know. Seems like you have no use for me anymore. If you happen to need any further guidance, just contact me. You have my Kodak. Now, if you'd excuse me, I need to make sure the rest of our forces are distributed accordingly. I wish you luck, Sergeant. Appreciated, Colonel. Definitely getting like a Perfect Soldiers combined with Odyssey combined with Annihilation vibe here. It's kind of like a best hits of existing StarCraft, you know? Commando. Oh my god. I was actually going to say, I can guarantee that as soon as this cinematic ends, we're going to get like a pop-up of 30 tips. Alright, so I'm going to skip the lore, the character lore, if that's acceptable to everybody. You all can, I guess, when the VOD's out, or you can pause on the stream if you want. So here you go. I will read the factions, I think. A mercenary group formed on the planet Taurus. So this is us. The faction consists of parts of the millions of colonists and local militia groups that fled the Capurlu sector in mid-2504. After they weren't given the help they needed to survive Zerg attacks on the Fringe Worlds despite extensive transmissions to the Dominion. Okay. The Great Evacuation. The Codec is a tool that allows you to review unlocked lore and achievements post-mission. When a lore-related tip is unlocked, they will be accessible within the Codec, found in the mission launcher. Any tip stored in the Codec will be mentioned in the tip itself. The Codec can also be used in-game to contact various characters. Press the Codec button located in the top right of the screen to bring up the list of contactable characters. This feature can be used to clarify your current objectives or provide more information about the lore, the mission, or general attitudes and relations between characters. In other words, codecs do not contain information necessary to the campaign's plot. We've done it. Do not let any hero drop below 50% health. Obtain all available points. Clear out all the Ravagers in less than 15 minutes after acquiring your base. That's now, I think. Without losing a single mine housing. Well, we're not playing on Nightmare, so I'm not worried about that. Ah! That's so cool! You called me, Sergeant? Like, honestly, what are the Forged Hand even doing here? This is clever. And it isn't even just Taurus. These past few months, they've been showing up just about everywhere, marking their territory like a bunch of stray dogs. This is going too far. Who knows? Remember, these are ex-Dominion forces, an expedition from the Capurlu sector, the biggest military in the quadrant. They've been through much more than you could imagine. Contrary to us having to flee during most of the Second Great War, they did just the exact opposite, fighting. Biggest military, and yet look at how much they lost during the war. Well, in the end, they still won. Yeah, with the help of both the Protoss and the Zerg. I think I made my point. It was more the effort of a united force. True, but the fact still stands. Attempting to best them will be suicide. We may have more overall people, but the Forged Hand has a stronger military. Our mission is to contain the Ravager threat, with emphasis on the word threat. The Forged Hand may not be particularly welcome here, but they're not a threat to us. Keep your finger off the trigger if the enemy is not Zerg. Yeah, I'd be lying if I told you I wasn't tempted to fire a round or two at those backstabbing bastards. Our past experiences make us natural enemies, but no matter the case, it's impossible to win against them in our current state. I want to think on this before you act, Rourke. With possibly the strongest combat force in the quadrant, what chance would we possibly have? We get it, we can't beat them. That's a fair point, I suppose. Just try to relax. Let's focus on reaching their base. First of all, who knows? Maybe they'll cooperate. Yeah, in your dreams. They aren't the type to back out of an assignment. You know this is true, Colonel. Perhaps. We won't know what happens until we try it, right? Calm down, Rourke. We've got this handled. If the Forged Hand decides not to cooperate, we'll figure out something. Move out. We can discuss this further once we actually speak with them. I like that this type of stuff is relegated to an optional codec. If this was part of the cinematics, then yeah, it would definitely feel too long, I think. Okay, cool. So let's quick save, and then... you know what? I'm just going to turn my camera off so that I don't have to change back and forth where it's located on the screen. How about that? That's fine. Okay, so we have some units.
You had best be prepared.
I've got Rourke and Jarvan Siggs. Increases the attack speed of a non-heroic friendly unit by 40% and causes them to heal. Okay, so this is like a... We can use that to heal units. That's cool. Anchor Management. Each attack increases its attack speed. It stacks. Activate to instantly gain full stacks of increasing aggression. But he becomes exhausted. For only 8 seconds. That's fine. That's acceptable.
Simple.
Is that...
Ready to remove.
Is this... It's Grunt from Mass Effect.
Whatever. My Much better.
All right, well, let's go start exploring. Head for the Forged Hand base. So we're going to appeal to them to help us, and I'm sure that's going to go real well.
It is an honor. Let us.
Well, are you ready?
Okay.
What?
And Jarvan can heal our main guy.
It's
Wait.
good to see you, friend.
This is the way.
I'm
Not much time left for preparation.
What? I can
Rook is
handle
an
it from
angry
here.
boy.
Of course. A wise choice. Interesting.
Okay, no Ravagers yet.
We work well together.
That's the bottom of the map.
This will suffice. You gonna give me orders? You had best be.
Ravagers, gun them down.
It's time to act. I am well prepared.
Oh, he
to do what
can't
I
use it on
must.
himself. Oh, he has
Let us
regeneration
focus
though.
on the
That's
fight.
fine.
I look forward to seeing you in action.
Nearby friendly units grant SIGs, increase attack damage, and reduce the damage he takes. Nice. Okay, so just
Are you ready?
he's our first officer. That explains it. He's
careful.
commanding our guys.
Greetings. Join me.
Join me.
Our paths converge. Very
Definitely getting the
well.
wasteland vibe here. Save him! We've done it. Sergeant Rourke, sir. How you boys holding up?
It is.
I hope I can count on you.
Much better now that backups arrived.
It is good to see you, friend. I
Listen,
see.
this isn't the only outpost that's suffering. Way I hear, several outposts in the region have reported sightings of Ravagers. I'm sure the people stationed at those locations would appreciate your help, too. We'll see what we can do. You get these civilians to a safe place, it's better you lay low somewhere. Roger that, Sergeant Rourke, sir.
It is an honor.
Oh, so it's Rex. It's the same voice actor. It's Stephen Blum. Feature points. Points are used to acquire powerful upgrades to your army. Before each following mission begins, you'll be able to select and assign one of the 3 unique upgrades to most of your combat units. Completing a mission grants you 5 points. Progression of bonus objectives gives you 1 point each. 2 points based on speed of completing the bonus objectives. A secret can be found. Finding it will grant you more points. The first upgrade for all units will be unlocked by default. Interesting. So basically, it's directly affiliated with your performance. It's not just exploration. There is a time element, too. So in this case, we can't actually use any of the points we accrue because this is a one-off here, but it sounds like the mission launcher is going to be pretty expansive with things that you can do in it. And we're getting a phone call. Or we're not. I think maybe that was just saying that there was a tip.
Greetings. Ha, a clever move.
Watch the cliffs, everyone. Don't want y'all slipping and falling.
I will be there shortly.
Okay, they are like
I'm
special
ready.
roaches. I guess because it's the Ravager faction. And then we
You
want
had
to
best be-
Well,
give him one of
are you
these.
ready?
Do we have stim? We do, and it's on auto cast.
Are you ready?
That's fine with me, I think. Because it doesn't actually... It doesn't reduce their health to
I'm
use stim
ready
packs.
to
Got it.
move.
Maybe that's like a faction-specific bonus for
Let's
Brotherhood of
move.
Taurus.
It is good to see you.
Because that's pretty nice.
You had best be prepared. Interesting.
Nope, nope. Nope, nope.
I hope I can
Can we
count
give him
on
some of these?
you. We march to victory.
It is an honor.
We march to victory.
Agreed.
Keep these guys in the
Let us
back.
Focus.
I am with you.
What? I see.
So pretty straightforward beginning here, but I actually like it. Really looks like this kind of
Join me.
abandoned mining outpost. I like it
This
a lot.
way.
Your
Very
support keeps us-
Marsara-esque, you know?
Greetings.
Through those rocks, looks like the only way. Destroy them.
So be it.
Seems we caught the attention of the Ravagers inside the caves. Watch out.
Are you ready? Clever. I will be there shortly.
This battle is far from over.
Greetings. A fitting end.
Well done.
Wise
Keep moving.
Choice. You had best be. I'm ready to move.
Just saving a lot.
What?
Look at that. First challenge completed.
This will suffice.
Your boys still got it.
Let's move. Our paths can
Let's use the instant aggression.
friend.
Dude, he's so pissed. Look at him go.
Are you
And then he's
ready?
exhausted. Oh, God.
Interesting.
Oh,
We
Jesus.
work well
The
together.
I am
the
well
adrenaline,
prepared
it took
to
me
Let us
over.
Focus on the fight ahead.
So the whole like
can handle it from
secrets to
here.
find, could it be something like, hey, move up to the fence and you get vision of a little thing behind it, or is it like a thing you could pick up? I wonder.
What?
We'll mess around.
Whatever.
If you play on adventure, you skip the segment entirely. Okay, that's actually kind of cool. So it's like the difficulty actually
Not much time left.
has a direct effect on things.
Honor.
Your
I also really
support
like
keeps us
the
an
status bar
honor.
effects. It's really nice to
Let us
actually have
focus
visibility
on
on
the
those,
fight ahead.
because very rarely can you see that. It's really nice to have that
Are
indicator.
you ready?
Maybe not for Stim Pack, just
Join me.
because they have the little red thing that pops up when
Very
it's
well.
over. But regardless, I think it's a good
Careful.
addition here.
Much better. Cleverer. So be it. This way.
Outhouses. Anyone have to
Of
pee?
course.
Onwards.
Greetings. I will be there shortly.
Another cave. Maybe there's gonna be another rock
here.
section or something. Oh, okay.
It is an honor. Greetings.
We're all fine here.
Hope I can count on you.
Let's just go ahead and heal these guys up.
It is good to see you, friend.
He's tired, but that's okay, because like very rarely is there going to be a time where like we need him to continue attacking,
What? I'm ready to move.
saving after everything. We've been walking for a while. The 4chan base should be pretty close now, right?
Paths converge. Let us focus on the fight ahead.
I'm like 100% sure they're not going to help us.
This will suffice.
I mean, just look at the minimap. It's like just seeing the flow on the minimap is always really satisfying.
What? Simple. Interesting.
Ambush, they're behind us.
We work well together. I'm ready. Are you ready?
The hero regen is quite noticeable. Very, very
I
valuable.
am well prepared to do what I must. This battle is fought.
It isn't.
Not much time.
Are you ready?
There's a bunch of like intersecting areas here through these canyons, so I guess let's explore.
A clever move.
Okay, not that many intersecting areas through the canyons. I like the look of the Zerglings. What skin are those? They look like Zagara Zerglings, but their
Let us
like
focus
talons
on
are a little
honor.
different.
So be it. This way. Much better.
I know you boys got to double check.
Finally, an ally.
What? Join me.
Okay, it's all
Let us
connected.
I am with you.
No, it's not.
You
Oh
and
my god.
Well,
I'm ready.
your support keeps us going.
Oh, I can't heal him. We've done it.
You had best be prepared.
I hope I can count.
So I can't use this on him. Does it say? Oh, it says non-heroic. Got it.
Stay alert.
Okay, well,
I'm ready.
we lived.
Are you ready? Whatever.
See, this is
path
+2 upon
converge.
completion, so there's no time element to
will
this one.
suffice. What?
Gotcha moment extreme edition.
We work well
Oh,
together.
okay. Well, that was marked as not completed. Completable. Local man too angry to be healed. There they are. Sigs, tell me what you see. It's off. They're only just getting started. Their base is barely established yet. Looks like they're in the process of setting up a defensive perimeter. No Ravagers nearby, though. I missed all the bonuses? What was I supposed to do differently? Ah, who needs those points anyway, right? They're being serious about this. Many patrol teams are scattered all over the area. That one, by the barracks, wearing a modified CMC combat suit. He appears to be commanding the troops. That must be the expedition leader. Which means he's our guy. He's the one we need to have a chat with. I would have expected them to have more going on than this. Oh well, makes it easier for them to pack their bags and leave. So our plan goes as follows. Get in, request to have a word with their commander, then convince them to leave things to the Brotherhood. Easier said than done. You really think this will work, sir? It better. We have to get these scumbags away from here. They're gonna ruin everything. Forged hand traders have no business stepping onto Taurus. Not after all we've been through. Of all the places they could have chosen to put their noses into, they just had to come to our main stronghold. Well, let's get going. Let me handle the talking. I can't believe I missed all 3 of those. Excuse me, recruit, but what are those people down there? But who are those people down there? Members of the Taurus military, sir. Brotherhood of Taurus, I believe. Red, we need to speak with the officer in charge here. Do you have an appointment? Funny. Apparently you guys didn't need an appointment to step foot on Taurus, so I didn't find the need to set up one either. Are you trying to be provocative now? Leave him be, recruit. Let me handle this. Commander Eric Benford of the Dominion Expeditionary Force. Yeah, that's great, Commander Red. Listen, I'll get right to the point. Your people are not needed here. This planet is a Brotherhood responsibility now. You can pack your bags and leave things to us. We'll handle it from here. Ah, the Brotherhood. Yeah, we know about you. We at the Forged Hand wish to rebuild the lost civilizations back on Caprulu and help restore faith in our people. In order to do that, I come to ask for a favor. Who is the commander in charge here? Why is that of any concern to you? We'd like to request a deal in the form of taking a share of your resources. In turn, you can help reform the galaxy the way it should be. What in the world are you on about? If we can make use of as many of the Quadrant's natural minerals as possible, we'll be able to create a better future and stabilize Dominion core world still suffering from the aftermath of the Second Great War. It's a movement we call the Forged Trading Coalition. You can become part of this process, if we can strike a deal with your main military commander. Ha, you're funny. I can tell you already that the answer is no. You don't need the commander for that. Typical behavior coming from mercenaries. I should have expected a rejection. Well, you could take your selfishness and bad company and leave this situation to the Forged Hand, then. What are you... bad company? Where the hell did you get that from? Mercenaries are bad company, son. The last thing we need is you wandering around disturbing important operations. Requesting a resource trade was not the only reason we came here, you know. We came to cleanse the ongoing threat. What, you mean the Ravagers? As I already told you, the Brotherhood takes over from here. We're in the middle of a crisis. Caprulu's been in bad shape for over 25 years now, and we're using whatever methods we can to prevent further atrocities. We're here to extend our military control by seizing this world, eliminating the Ravager threat, and in turn get one step closer to securing the sector. We've encountered many of your colonial buddies across the entire sector already, and we don't need you here as well. Trust me, you'll only get in the way. You're going on quite a tangent, Commander Red. What exactly does losing Dominion worlds have to do with us being mercenaries? Resources are needed to help rebuild what was lost during the Second Great War. This quadrant is ridden with opportunities. You offer your services in exchange for resources. Disgusting. You should be helping and upholding order and aid us in providing resources that can ensure this sector of the galaxy doesn't fall to the same fate. Look, I don't know what you heard about us, but you've got us all wrong. We're just here to help. You know we're not going to pay you for your services here, correct, mercenary? This operation is not a business-related one, Commander Red. We just wish to protect Taurus. Many of our people came from this planet, grew up in these homes. They would fight for their lives to ensure it remains safe. Uh-oh, battle music? Yeah. I understand that, but for the sake of your safety, you should let the Forged Hand contain the situation. Here you go again. Just like 25 years ago, you're treating us like we're just a bunch of pests incapable of accomplishing anything noteworthy in life. I mean, they did offer to let you help them. Do you even know where you are? You're standing on Taurus ground, Commander Red. We have our biggest military here. We are more than able to keep this under wraps. We've been given direct orders from Head Officer Ryland Ward himself. We've been selected to establish a defensive perimeter under Forged Hand rule and purge the Ravager threat engrossing this planet. We have our orders, mercenary, and I'm sorry to say this, but you're delaying me from important work. Oh, we're not quite done here yet. So they sent ex-Dominion forces to purge the Ravager threat, descendants of the same people who lost Augustgrad, the Dominion capital, might I add, to the Queen of Blades. Ah, I see. I feel real safe now. Listen, mercenary, you're starting to get on my nerves. I don't have time to deal with a group of kids that are unable to understand a simple request. There are more important things at stake. We fought the good fight for years, while you and your colonial buddies spent time evacuating and hiding. We held the line against Amon's forces, helping the Dominion achieve victory through immense hardships. Well, what the fuck do you expect us to do? We were simply trying to keep ourselves alive. We didn't have any weapons to defend ourselves, and your people didn't seem to care about doing anything except solve the problems affecting the Fringe Worlds. We were given orders. We did what we could. You think we just flipped off and left? We helped those we could, but Command had something else in mind for us. You think I'd buy that sack of shit? You had several alternatives to help. You just didn't bother. Enough of the meaningless discussion. I suggest you either leave the planet or keep your noses out of our operations. This is for the future of the sector. Fine. Do whatever you please. This won't be our last encounter. Men, let's get out of here. We're wasting our time. I just realized our first commander has 2 shields. What a man. Commander. Just leave him be. As long as they let us do our job, I don't care what they do. We gave them their chance. If they end up as Ravager lunch, that's just how it is. We warned them. I mean, to be fair, both sides seem pretty stubborn here. Let's get back to work. Like, I'm not sure if we're supposed to think that the Forged Hands are, like, exclusively the stubborn ones here, but I kind of get the impression that both sides are pretty hard-headed. We also have to say that plan went to shit. I mean, we kind of went into this with the mindset that this was going to be difficult. You don't think you were just a little rough on him? Maybe that changed the outcome. Nah, those punks don't deserve our respect. The Forged Hand has always been a bunch of stubborn bastards. If you say so. Switching to Plan B now, then? Now we'll just let them do their thing, at least until we've discussed this with General Haley and the Colonel. Hold on, I'm going to contact him. I was told to report back immediately. Sure thing, sir. I mean, yeah, it is a long cutscene, but honestly, I think the first cutscene, while shorter, I think could have been trimmed, whereas this one has a lot of content in it that I find interesting. Copy. What's the situation, Sergeant? It's a damn shitty situation. Those forged hand pigs are a real pain. By your wording and aggressive attitude, I take it you failed to convince them? Duh, obviously. But that's not the main problem. You won't believe what we discussed. Indulge me. That bastard battalion leader, Eric Barefoot or whatever, requested an agreement with General Haley. Apparently it was some sort of resource trading deal. They come here all high and mighty, thinking they can just have our resources? Can you believe it? That's what they do, Sergeant. Ever since they stepped foot in the Quadrant, that's been their goal. Gathering resources and establishing full control. Imperialism. Way I hear it, their core world, Merrill 5, is transformed into one big industrial mining complex, extracting all of its natural resources and delivering most of it back to Caprulu to restore their former glory. The planet is apparently only a fraction of what it used to look like. My assumption is they try to do the same thing to as many of the sector's worlds as they can, hoping to increase their flow of income. That's the idea behind their little forged trading coalition. So they're selfish, is that what you're saying? Some would call it that, yes. Oh, come now. They definitely are, and you think so too. Please do not try to assume my beliefs, Sergeant. If you ask me, this is not a matter of opinion, but facts. Whatever, I'm certainly not accepting that. So they believe the knowledge of having helped their sorry excuse of a people makes it worth it on our end? Never have I heard something so stupid. Their proposition is rather strange. Do they legitimately think that everyone will just help them that easily? Now I think maybe this conversation's getting a little bloated. Well, at least we made it clear to them that we're uninterested. But now Plan A is ruined. We'll worry about the forged hand later. I will relay this information to General Haley and make a report. Rourke, I want you to head towards the mines. As that's the location where the primary contingent of Ravagers are burrowed. The location around the mines have requested reinforcements. I'm currently heading there myself, and I figured you'd be the ideal person to accompany me, seeing as you're already close by. Of course, I'll be there right away, Colonel. Copy that. Crowder out. So, we've been ordered to leave Forged Hand for now, at least until reports to Haley and the headquarters have been made. And the Colonel's just posted the exact coordinates. He wants us to begin at the southwestern entrance to the Thordune mines. The Colonel is expected to be there in 15 minutes. So we can get there with just a couple minutes to spare before he arrives if we leave now. Unless the Ravagers have something to say about it. But let's go. Might as well try to make a good impression if possible. Thought you'd say that. You guys still aren't exactly the best of acquaintances, huh? Well, we have differing opinions, that's for sure, resulting in countless discussions. Apparently I'm a little too much for the poor guy sometimes. It perplexes me how you guys can keep up your everlasting feuds and still work so closely together. He knows he needs me, and it's also partially thanks to the help of General Haley. She recognizes my abilities, and Crowder needs high-ranked soldiers to lead the front lines. I don't think he wants to bother with the arguments he'd have with Command if he were to request my reassignment. But hey, we better move. Let's talk about this later, all right? Of course, sir. Just a little curious is all. Okay. Okay.
Greetings.
Not much time left.
Back
for
to it.
preparation.
Head for the Thorn Dune Mines.
It is
Lore
good to
unlocked?
see you, friend.
Thank God. So the Forged Trading Coalition, they're trying to harvest resources to send it back to Caprulu. Got it. acceptable. You know what? I'm not going to contact Terrence Crowder. We're just going to get to the place.
Much better. Let us focus on the fight ahead.
The Vile Roaches really are the only things that I think are a particular concern. I assume that if you lost Marines prior to this, they would not be in this section.
Ready to move. Let's move. Greetings.
Finally, an ally I can put my faith in.
Back up.
Hold firm.
So, I think, I understand the cutscene was really long, right? That's going to be feedback that a lot of people would give. And I agree to an extent. I actually found the very first cutscene, while in terms of time was actually shorter than the second one, but actually I think there were pieces to it that could have been condensed. Whereas this one contained a lot of interesting information that was conveyed in an interesting way. So, like, for example, I think, like, a lot of the conversations between two of the Taurus characters, it's clear that it exists almost exclusively just to provide exposition. And a lot of the conversations, like, between these two, I feel like they're explaining, like, oh, here's my relationship with the Colonel, here's my relationship with blah, 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 blah. And you're like, wouldn't they both already know this information? They're clearly having this conversation exclusively to convey it to us, so it doesn't feel as natural. Whereas the conversation between us and the Forged Hand was a lot more informative and natural feeling. Sergeant Rourke, glad you could make it. What's the situation here, recruit? Small contingents of Ravagers are bursting from all entrances of the mines, but together they make up a formidable fighting force. Yes, the Hydras definitely did have frenzy. We have bases set up near the mines that are more than capable of protecting us against the current number of Ravagers emerging from the mines. However, the Ravagers are just starting to form their own hive clusters as well. Form their own hive clusters? That's right. While small, they're being created quite fast, and will have to be burned down before long. What the hell is going on? How could you let this happen? Aren't you guys supposed to stand watch around here or something? The majority of us were assigned to other tasks, sir. If you recall, this is not the only part of Taurus that's under assault. I apologize, sir. The contingency here was rather small initially and only recently started growing. I know this isn't the answer you were hoping for. It's all good, recruit. We all have our orders. The Ravager bases are still early enough in development that they should be fairly easy to clear. Oh, I hope so. Has the Colonel arrived here yet? I don't recall seeing his ships here, but you should probably check by the rendezvous point. They'll most likely have more info there that I can offer you standing guard. The rendezvous is just up ahead. The second advisor's waiting for your arrival. Good man. We'll be heading out. When we leave here today, there will be no Ravagers disturbing us anymore. Men, let's move. We have a job to do. For the Emperor! Sir! Oh, it's Matt Horner, but he's blue! No further Ravagers are identified within the Morgansby Mountain Trail. The threat has been eliminated. My patrol unit discovered a total of 5 settlements within Grimwald Valley under assault by Ravagers. We have requested reinforcements. Good work. I'll forward this to command at once. Charlie Vane. Gosh, it's happening across the entire region. The Ravagers are spreading like wildfire. True, but we're containing them for now. We reacted quickly. We haven't allowed the Ravagers to gain a single advantage since the invasion began. We're upholding order on Taurus. This is the only primary contingent of forces still remaining on the planet. And once those mines are cleaned up, we can begin negotiating with the Forged Hand. Negotiating? Did I hear that right? You guys made a change of plans that I wasn't informed of, or what? Ah, Sergeant Rourke. So glad you could make it. It seems you've caught me in the middle of the wrong choice of words. I want to assure you that no actual negotiations will take place between the Brotherhood and the Forged Hand. Not in the sense you'd expect, at least. Well, that's reassuring. Almost thought you guys sold us out. Hear that? That must be Crowder's ships. Perfect. Then we can initiate the sit rep without any delays. Oh, he popped out from the ground. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. They're little groundhogs. Sir. It's a faction passive ability. Well met, Brotherhood. Welcome, Colonel. Glad you could make it. Maryland, Rourke, good to see you here. Let's get down to business. Maryland, what can you tell me? Of course. Everyone gather around the command table, please. All right, first of all, I want to thank you all for coming with such short notice. I know there must be many things going on at the moment. As you know, Command has requested a higher number of troops to this location, as we have learned that the majority of the Ravagers emerged from deep within the Thorn Dune mines. Based on our scans, we detected a number of high-frequency concentrations of which we presume to be burrowed dens emanating from below the surface. Until we get further information about the number of Ravagers within the mines and the exact locations of these dens, we want to restore full control of the outside area first. The area. Excellent. Where do you want us? There are many entrances into the Thorn Dune mines, and Ravagers pour out of them, all at regular intervals. To assess this problem, we have established some defenses on the outskirts of the mine, but not much. But it's all we had time for. Securing our defensive positions across the outskirts will be first priority. That's what we need your forces for, Sergeant Rourke. Rourke. Great, I'll handle that. That's good. We've even provided you with a small base of operations to get your work started. Make use of it thoroughly. Now let's talk about your role in this, Colonel. Okay. You're to use the neighboring base to aid Rourke in setting up his defenses by relieving some of the pressure they will receive. Ah, so you want us to engage upon the Ravager bases directly? We only need you to command the initial strikes, just enough for Rourke to get his bases up and running. Once the bases are running smoothly, I hope your forces can assist the Colonel in the elimination of the Ravager bases, Sergeant. An awful lot of things to do, Security Advisor. The longer we wait, the harder it's going to be. I say we move. Sergeant, we're not even done. Of course we're not done here yet. You can assign your forces to their posts if you wish, Sergeant. However, I do want you to stay for the full briefing. Siggs, you up for this? I'll go establish a perimeter at once, sir. Outstanding. Everyone, orders are for the First Officer Siggs until I'm done listening to our elegantly dressed friend here. See you later, Okra Knight. Follow me, everyone. All right, I'm all ears, Maryland. Oh, see, I thought that he was gonna show up later while we went and established the base, but we're staying with the briefing. Very well. Now that I've informed you all of the mission at hand, allow me to delve into what our victory here will mean for us going forward. Once we've established a sufficient defensive position on the outskirts and the Ravager hive clusters are eliminated, we'll await reinforcements and move into the depths of the mines themselves. We hope that our efforts here may allow us to prove to the Forged Hand that we had control of this invasion from the get-go. What are you guys doing about their business proposition, though? I've already submitted a report to the General, and she has confirmed we won't be taking part in their little resource trading program. Yes, the Forged Hand Trading Coalition, orchestrated by the Forged Hand to extract resources from the Quadrant. Thank you for repeating that. Well, Haley has already stated her opinion, and Colonel Crowder has dispatched a small unit to relay the message to the commander of the Forged Hand expedition. Good, although I'm not certain it'll be that easy to get rid of them. What do we have to lose? That's fun. That would be funny now. These guys will do anything for a couple extra bucks in their pockets to help build war machines. This is turning into a discussion unrelated to the issue at hand. If you folks are prepared, let's initiate the operation. That's my cue to leave. Think your troops can handle the initial pressure, Colonel? See you on the battlefield, Sergeant. Okay. Oh, cool. They can move faster. Head out. Before heading out to destroy the Ravager bases, you should ensure that the mine houses are properly protected. There are 2 outposts to the left of your primary base location. If either of these locations loses all their mine houses, the mission will be failed. Okay. Okay, so I cannot okay, cool. It's actually kind of good that I can't.
Not enough minerals.
I can't do anything there. Let's just see which are available. No thank you to those conversations.
SCV ready.
Only Marines. Increases the movement speed bonus. That's interesting.
Not enough minerals.
SCV ready.
Very interesting. All right, so we're pretty hamstrung here on what we're able to do. Can I make a no factories? I like checking out all the unique faction bonuses. 3 Brotherhood SCVs can build a structure simultaneously. That's awesome. It's interesting that it's capped. I think that's cool. Yeah, I do need to drink some water, Yuri. I'm assuming we're kind of close to the end here. But yes, water is in my future, believe you me. Time for us to retake the mines. Go, go, go. Well, that's not going to work too well for him, is it? Is he going to lose his base because there's an aberration?
Our allies' base is under attack. Our allies...
Nice job, idiot. All right. Don't lose control of A base. Sure. Looks like the Ravagers are preparing attacks of their own. Can you handle them, Sergeant? Obviously not. You can't handle your own shit, so... Why do you expect that I'd be able to do it all? Ravagers have breached our perimeter. A mine housing has been destroyed by the Ravagers. We should stop them, sir. I see. There's resources over there. That would help. I guess that's supposed to happen? I don't know. So we don't need this bunker right now.
Not enough minerals.
So grab these.
You want a piece of me, boy?
Okay, they do have Stimpak on and available. I just wish he wouldn't move out and draw those enemies into his base like a dummy. You know?
Not enough minerals.
want a piece of me, boy?
This is very much like you got to know exactly where things are going to happen, when they're going to happen, and the amount of briefing info doesn't really, like, it tells you what to expect, sort of, but not quite enough. I mean, it's not a lack of information. It's just a, you know, it's a layout thing, you know. Oh my God, my hotkeys are all messed up. Please.
Been waiting on you. You gonna give me
Okay,
orders?
he can rebuild his Goliath, I guess.
Outstanding.
Oh my God. Well, that explains it.
Not enough minerals.
Put these guys into
Our allies' base
the
is
bunker.
under attack.
I wonder if that counts as a mine housing or not.
SCV ready.
Not enough minerals.
Armed and ready.
So they automatically spawn out of there.
Who wants some?
I guess let's quick save because that was better. That was better.
We could use some help here.
You can do it, buddy.
By the number. Been waiting on you.
SCV ready. Move it.
This better be good.
Yeah.
Not enough minerals.
And then probably a reactor on that barracks will help the most. I don't need gas for anything because I can only make Marines, and I don't really care about the movement speed bonus.
You want a piece of me, boy?
So at each of these openings, we want to set up some bunkers, it looks like.
SCV ready.
Should be more than enough.
You gonna give me
And then we're going to get attacked at home, too. So I'll just quick save a lot, and then we'll load a save and move our units to where they need to be. That's all. I also could have moved SCVs up there to defend against the Ravager attacks.
big job?
Not enough
to-
minerals.
Oh, nice. They get call downs. Again, it's really cool to see the differences here of all the factions. I appreciate that.
Want a piece of me, boy?
Ah, you scared me.
Again, I really don't know what order, each of these are going to be popping out in, so.
What's going on? Yeah,
Sergeant, oh,
whatever.
great. Go ahead and get yourself killed again.
Our allies' base is under attack.
Go ahead. SCV ready.
Just stop bothering. How about that? You ever think about just not doing that? I mean, I realize you were commanded to do it, but, like, it's clear it's not working. So just stop it.
SCV ready.
Yeah, let's go ahead and grab a reactor. Well,
Insufficient
that's what we could
SP
use
gas.
gas for, as a reactor, I guess. And we can grab that. We can grab that bonus there as well for the.
SCV ready.
The movement speed certainly doesn't hurt. That should, I think, cover all the units that we need for the mines, especially if we get some SCVs spread out.
Not enough minerals.
And we're going to be supply blocked here momentarily.
This better be
Huh? I can't build here.
I like this as a first mission, though. It definitely it keeps you on your toes. I'm more concerned about my ally getting killed. Was that supposed to be like that? Where your ally just gets completely roasted in, like, the first seconds?
Bad news.
Because it's destined for a reload. So my supply call-downs are
Base is under
more
attack.
money. But they're, again, it's instant call-downs, which is awesome. Okay.
SCV ready.
We're good. Might have to get some extra SCVs spread out there. Let's go and grab our reactor, and I suppose I'll get combat drugs.
SCV ready.
I got unlucky. What, so I guess I'm curious. So how does luck factor into
Yeah.
everything happening?
Bad news. SCV ready. In the rear with the gear.
Kind of looks like they're only attacking. Oh, never mind. I was literally about to say it looks like they're only attacking that one specific bunker, but that is not true.
Scared me.
Everyone ready? Move out. No, you dummy! Stop it! Just stop it! What are you doing?
You want a piece of me, boy?
I thought you were a colonel. What are you doing?
SCV ready.
Next time he attacks, we'll probably be ready to move out.
Upgrade complete.
Here, quick save, because we got a great start here. I can't make anything else. Thankfully, the debilitating saliva I thought goes through bunkers, but it looks like maybe that's been changed, which I'm really grateful for, because that would be real rough.
In the rear with the gear. Big job. I can't build here. This better be good. Yeah.
Okay. Now, realistically, how many Marines are we going to need? We'll find out.
Roger. Gotcha.
Find out next week on Dragon Ball Z.
SCV ready.
I guess we can get another bunker there just in case, too. I feel pretty well defended. And let's go ahead and grab these guys to just sit up here and repair.
Let's go.
I think I'll just go ahead and throw an additional SCV at each location in case we lose any of them that are sitting there.
Our SCVs are under attack.
Oh, well, I guess they would do that. That's fine. They'll repair themselves. I mean, honestly, the auto stim pack is surprisingly nice. It's quite a nice little addition here. Realistically, I don't know how much supply I'm going to need. So, hey, I swear would you stop? Did I shift queue them all up to move where they ended up moving? I think I did. Whoops. Well, that's why they kind of went in derpy ways. Okay, that should be acceptable.
This better be good.
Again, how many Marines are going to be needed? We'll find out. Stop it.
Are under attack.
That's fine.
Our allies are being attacked. Add-on complete.
God, I have to keep those bases up and running. Can't let the Ravagers destroy everything. Don't speak to me about that.
Base is under attack.
We need more defenses to hold off the Ravagers, Sergeant Rourke.
Not enough minerals.
I've invested a ton, all right?
Armed and ready. That's fine. Sure.
Well, my dummy ally's already gone. He started attacking.
This better be good.
It'd be funny if those were the aberrations that puked out Banelings when they died. What a nightmare.
Not enough minerals.
So I don't think I technically lost this because there's still mine houses there. So, oh, there were more resources there too. That would have been helpful. Okay, we're looking good. Again, no upgrades or anything. Man, the Vile Roaches, that's tough. That's just tough. Not much we can do about that.
Our allies' base is under attack.
Ravagers agreed. Oh, I think it's because look at how many just spawned out of that cave. What the hell? Help me, Colonel. What's your name? Ooh, predators. That's neat. Yeah, let him tank the Vile Roaches. We lost one of the mine houses. Try not to lose any more. That one was kind of in a dumb location in the first place, so don't speak to me about that. Move out. We need to get these mines cleared. Oh, good. There he goes. Okay, cool. So I think we're in good shape now. Let's quick save. We may very well get that 15-minute achievement because I think we've done pretty good in terms of what, spending our money in the right circumstances and such. It's not clear here. Prevent the Ravagers from destroying all mining houses. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you lose a couple. Maybe there's an achievement. I don't know. Okay. I think they have all these larvae, but they don't actually build from these hatcheries. So it doesn't matter whether you destroy the hatcheries or not. In terms of preventing them from attacking you, I should say. Gotta get supply blocks. Because they spawn directly from the caves.
Armed and ready. Of course.
Though it's possible once you destroy enough buildings around the caves, they stop spawning out of them. Maybe? I don't know. I'm guessing. It makes sense that I mean, it's the first mission, so like again, did they? I think they did just build some Zerglings. So it's like maybe again, based on your difficulty, they do build, but pretty tough enemy comp for just Marines. But you know, you do what you got to do. There we go. I think we did it. Hey Emerson, you missed. I think this is our 4th map today. We've had some long ones today, but they've all been really fun. There we go. This fucking guy, man. Hey, he rebuilt his bunker. Definitely a clever setup for that first macro section. That should be all of them, right? I believe so. What's your assessment, Sec Advisor? I'm positive you dispatched all Ravagers on the surface of Taurus. I invite you both back to the command table for a debriefing. Roger that. Mission's over, folks. Return to base. You did good today. Oh god, what's happening? I think the camera went through the rocks behind those doodads there. HQ, this is Sec Advisor Jeffrey, Maryland. May I kindly speak to General Elena Haley? Greetings, Sec Advisor. I'll transfer you over to the General right away. I presume it's about the situation at the Thorndon Mines? Yes, thank you.
Incoming transmission.
This is Elena Haley. Do you copy? Loud and clear, General. This is Sec Advisor Jeffrey Maryland speaking. What news do you bring? Is the operation at the Thorndune Mines going well? Indeed, Colonel Terrence Crowder and Sergeant Samuel Rourke have aided in successfully cleansing the outside of the mines of the Ravager infestation. We are ready to proceed with the next step. I wish to inquire about the possibility of reinforcements to this region. Roger. I'm sending a unit to your coordinates right away. Let me know when they arrive. Excellent. You have my thanks. In little time, we'll be investigating the source of the Ravagers underground. Maryland out. It's done, friends. Now we wait. Was that General Haley? What did she say? She's sending our requested reinforcements to this location. Once they're here, we're ready to continue. Excellent. Defenses are set up at all the entrances. They'll deal with any Ravagers that try to exit the mines. Great work. I'll stay here to oversee the arrival of General Haley's reinforcements. I want to ask, is there a possibility that one of you could keep watch of our defensive positions until then? I think Siggs did quite a respectable job today. Do you mind staying here with Maryland until Haley's men arrive? Of course, sir. Leave it to me, Sec Advisor. I knew I could count on you, bud. Then I will go make contact with the other squads we sent out and hear their reports. And I need to get back to HQ. Need a lift somewhere, Sergeant? That's the nicest thing you've said to me, Colonel. Much obliged. We've done it. Mission time 30 minutes plus approximately 45 of cinematics, I think. Hey, we got some points. Yeah, I didn't use those codecs. My mouse is gone. My mouse is gone. I like the stats. I like some good stat screens. I do like how it tracks all of your progress towards the different achievements and such, too. So that's really good stuff. We've done it. Is this music from Resident Evil 4? I guess you'd have to, let's say I... It's hidden. It's not that I can't... Yeah, it's just hidden, that's all. Anyways, I have to go get some water. Here, well, I just turned my camera off, but let me chat about my thoughts on the map first. And, okay. Like, let's talk about this. The main thing about... I liked the gameplay. I liked the holdout... It wasn't a holdout section, but I liked the layout, specifically the layout of that section at the mines at the end. So I had a good time with that. You reload a little bit. In terms of the secrets and achievements, it really adds a lot of replayability and the points gathering, assuming that the player can go back and replay and then gather the points that they missed, as opposed to like having some weird bank issue where it like doubles up on the points or you can't get them on a replay or whatever. As long as that's all worked out, right? And the points, there's permanence to the points where like you could go back and replay a mission and then gather the points you missed while not screwing up anything related to the bank data would be great. And again, I really like the layout of the mine defense section. I think that was all cool, and like seeing my ally get roasted right away was a little disheartening. But again, I like that section. But again, there was more time in the cinematics than in the game, which I've played maps like that before. So I'm not outright saying that's a bad thing, but I want to take the time to talk about the narrative structure and the way that it's presented, because that was the majority of the time on the map. So it's important to spend time talking about it, because again, that was the majority of the time. I would say, you know, if you get a lot of feedback that says the cutscenes are too long, I understand the response of, well, it's a narratively driven story. It's a story-driven campaign, so of course they're going to be long. But they were really long. I mean, like Odyssey, a lot of the times the cutscenes are longer than the playtime as well. So it's kind of hard. You know, I don't want to be hypocritical in saying like, well, in this case it's fine, but in this case it's not. I think mostly the cutscenes were fine. I do think that certain times they were bloated. And sometimes it's important to double check that you're not repeating information that the player already has. And also that you're not using conversations between two characters to exposit things that they shouldn't be even talking about in the context of their conversation. So like a lot of the politics of the Brotherhood of Taurus, for example, like you talking to your first commander guy, I feel like a lot of that information... I mentioned this in the mission. They should have already known. So them talking about it was very clearly and unnaturally like, hey, player, you got to know about his relationship with the Colonel. Whereas maybe there'd be a better time in the future to convey that information in a different way, such that it's not just two characters talking to each other, again, and conveying information that, in theory, they already know. So again, it's conveying information maybe in a slightly more concise way and ensuring that every time that you're delivering dialogue, it's not just about the dialogue, it's about thinking about, like, why does this dialogue exist? What is the purpose? What information am I giving to the player through this dialogue? Now, you don't want to make it overly concise. Again, you want to make it feel more natural. So, again, I see it as people wanting to, discuss what's going on in the mission, et cetera, but, describing the Hand of Taurus as sending resources back, 3-4 times, again, that's not necessarily something that needs to be repeated. And I think if you did a clean sweep across all of the dialogue that way, you may be able to trim a lot of the sections down. I think the first cutscene is fine because it kind of sets the tone, again, with like the war-torn sector. Like we're outside of the Caprulu sector and kind of giving you a little taste of the different factions, I think was really good. And the middle cutscene I quite liked. I thought that was great. I liked the pretty much the whole interaction between the Taurus main guy and then the Forged Hand like lieutenant guy. I thought that was excellent. I really liked that whole part. So again, and the reason that I'm hitting all of this is because I specifically think we spent so much time in the cinematics that it's important that we discuss them. And it's not just as simple as saying, oh, they're too long, or, oh, it's a story-driven campaign. Like we should, dive into each section and say, like, what did we like about this and what did we not? So again, I think it's just reviewing and saying, like, what information does the player actually need for the world building versus like we're writing the Silmarillion here. Like we're giving them so many details that I'm not saying that all unnecessary details need to be cut, but it's more distributing it in a way such that, again, you're reducing bloat, because I think there's certain points in the mission where I was really engaged in what was being shown to me through the cutscenes, but then there were also certain points where I was like, just get on with it. And I guess that, if you're a tester for this campaign, a lot of familiar faces. I think testing and giving feedback on, again, the cinematics, not just that the length of them, but like which parts were like really enrapturing and which parts you felt, might have been a little unnecessary. And then Dudki has to say, okay, well, I had to put that in there for something in the future versus, okay, that's more of like a codex type thing or like a mission pop-up tip as opposed to needing to be in the dialogue, right? So again, I am not by any means saying, it's too long. They were too long. Because again, I think I liked the cinematics more than I didn't. I think a lot of them were way more engaging. And I just want to be clear and like, again, it's kind of hard to talk about StarCraft cinematics in this type of way. That's all I'm saying. It's, again, I just don't think it's as simple as saying like, it's too long. And of course, it's the first mission, so you kind of need that setup. It's kind of describing who the Forged Hand is, describing who the Brotherhood of Taurus is, etc., etc. So, and again, I definitely get like an Odyssey vibe from this, and I definitely get a Perfect Soldiers vibe from this, and then, of course, Annihilation, which was Dudki's. So, again, I kind of see it as, like, a greatest hits, almost, of, like, a combination of greatest hits, where, like... And also, don't get me wrong, the dialogue is really well written. And that's kind of going back to what I say, where, like, sometimes some people, they have all this expository dialogue, and as a player... This is very presumptuous of me to say, but as a player, sometimes I get the impression that people put in expository dialogue without really thinking about why it even needs to be there. Again, what information are you trying to convey? And it doesn't have to necessarily be straight information, but it could be a theme or a tone or a mood. What is the purpose of what's happening here? Is it meant to set up the gameplay? Is it meant to set up like a theme, a mood, et cetera, et cetera? And there have been a lot of campaigns where I get the impression that it's just exposition for exposition's sake because, we need to explain this and we need to explain that. I have found that some of the best storytelling across all media is purposefully withholding information because you want the player to be questioning what's going to happen, right? So I almost think for the first mission... This is, I am not an expert here. I'm just saying this is just a random recommendation, and nor would I expect you to rework the whole mission or anything like that. But I almost think that not revealing why the Forged Hand is there, revealing who they are, but not why they're doing what they're doing, would actually keep the player asking questions and be more intrigued so that when they do figure it out, there's more of a payoff to it as opposed to, here's the faction, here's why they're here, boom, 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 now you kill the Zerg, the mission's over. That was obviously a way oversimplification, but that's just sort of again, think of ways that you can withhold information, not only to trim down the cutscenes, but to keep the player asking questions. And I think that that's what, if you're going to make something very story-focused, again, and I would point to Odyssey as a really good example of good storytelling, and I think, again, with the way that you've written the dialogue, it's done with a skill such that it is done in an engaging way, and it's not just blah, blah, blah exposition. I think you did a good job in avoiding that specifically. But again, you could... make the player ask more questions, because like we finished this map and I don't really have much curiosity about what comes next. Like, okay, the Forged Hand's here, we're probably going to fight them because they want our resources. I already know that, I understand their motivations, that's going to be the next mission, but I don't really have a curiosity about them anymore because it was explained to me straight away. So hopefully that makes sense. Again, I spent a lot of time talking about this, and that's, again, just to reiterate, because there was a lot of story here. So that's a big part of the review of the map. All right. Sorry, so that was a long one. Overall, I had a good time with it, and I think it was very ambitious being so story-focused, and I think that it accomplished more. I think it accomplished a lot, and it was, I view it more positively than negatively in terms of the cinematic lengths. Again, I've seen some feedback where people said the cinematics were too long, which is like their only feedback of the map. I think that the cinematics being long can and were a good thing for the most part, and they simply could have been trimmed a little bit in certain spots. All right, I'm going to go get some more water. I'm going to use the bathroom, and I'll be back for our next submission. I think I'll have time for one more. It depends on which one we pick.